think that it's okay for parents to have their children pay bills while they're still living in their house? Like, if you get your first job and you finally making some income, is it okay for your parents to give you the responsibility of paying a bill? Do you feel like it actually teaches the child responsibility? Or do you think that it's some bullshit?
So,
Because, yeah, I know what I think.
I feel like when you get a job, I do believe it's your parents' responsibility to teach you the value of a dollar and how to manage your money. Because I'm not gonna lie, my mom did not do that for me. So when I had a job, I've been working since I was 15. She used to just let me have whatever and do whatever with my paycheck. She paid my phone bill, of course, everything. I never had to pay any bills. I didn't pay all of my bills 100% by myself until I moved to Atlanta. Because even when I was in college, my mom was paying half of my rent. She was paying my cell phone bill, all of that stuff. So while that did help me as far as I didn't have to stress about work so much because I was able to still have that college experience and stuff, it didn't teach me what I really needed to know about managing money.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't necessarily think you need to put that pressure on a child to pay a bill, but I think you need to show them how to save money. Okay, you know what? Let me teach you about this. Put half of your paycheck right here or 30% of your paycheck. Teach them money management. Don't just let your kids take their paycheck and just do whatever with it. So I don't think necessarily they should be paying bills, but I think they need to learn about money management.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that it's more so, to me, you should be teaching your children how to save, how to invest.
Right.
Like, make them accountable for, okay, you get a paycheck every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks when you get paid, you need to put $500 into a stock account.
Right.
Because in 10 years, it's going to be quadruple that amount that you put in there, that you invested in there. Like, teach them the importance of things like that. But I just think asking your child to pay a bill is giving you short on the rent money.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, because I feel like children are supposed to be brought into the world because you want the child to be here. I just think putting responsibilities like that on them, sometimes in a lot of ways, I think parents try to use their children to help them overcome struggles and stuff that they have going on. Just like when parents be using their kids' social security numbers to put bills in their name and stuff like that. Oh, because I couldn't get it in my name, now I'm gonna put it in my child's name. And then when your child turn 18 and they're trying to get their first credit card or get their first apartment or whatever the case may be, they credit is shot and they can't get shit in their name because you fucked they shit up.
Yeah.
I think that that's fucked up. And I think, unfortunately, especially in the Black community, a lot of parents do that and they try to play it off as, oh, I'm trying to teach you responsibility by getting you to pay the light bill. Bitch, no, this is your light. This is the lights in your home. I live here because you birthed me. I didn't ask to be here. Why should I have to pay a light bill? You know what I mean? I do feel like you're right as far as not fucking your money off every week, because my mom definitely, when I got a job, her and my dad, they didn't make me pay no bills. So I definitely just used to do what I wanted with my money too. And I feel like it didn't teach me any type of responsibility. It's other ways that you could teach your children responsibility when it comes to their money outside of having them pay your household bills for you.
So how do y'all feel about when that child turns 18 though, and they're still in their parents' home? Do you think they should be helping then? If they're if they're out of high school, and if they're in college or not in college, if they're 18, they're out of high school, and now they're technically an adult, and they're still in their parents' house, should they be helping with the bills?
I think it depends on the circumstance. Like, what are you doing? Are you working? Are you trying to figure out what you want to do with your life? Are you in school? If you're in school, I'm not going to ask you to pay for anything. But if you think you just about to be in my house with no plan, doing nothing, then yeah, you going to have to contribute some kind of way because you're grown now.
Right.
And living here, having to help pay a bill is better than you having to go get your own apartment and pay for everything. But if you have a plan, you in school, you going to a trade school, you trying to figure out what you want to do with your life, I'm not going to make you pay for anything because you're trying to figure it out, and life is hard enough.
Right.
What you think, Ty?
Yeah, I was gonna say I agree. I feel like if I'm in college and I'm just coming home on holidays, maybe the summer, maybe it's my responsibility to get a job so I can pay for gas or help around the house. But having a bill for that child, I think you should just be able to set them up so that they're able to save their money again, to your point, making sure they know what to do with it, how to save it, but not necessarily putting things in their name and having these big grown up responsibilities until it's that time. Now, if you're living there 365 all year, you're not going to school, yeah, you need to get a job and you need to definitely be helping out around here.
So I do think too, it's crazy because I always regret not paying attention. In school, I had a teacher. It was, I think, my geography teacher. He took one, not semester, but like a 6-week period. We didn't learn any geography. He took that whole 6-week period to teach us about stocks. And I remember none of us were paying attention. We were just like, why do we need to learn this? And I feel as an adult, as 35 years old now, I'm thinking back to my 16-year-old self. I'm like, girl, why you didn't listen? Because imagine if I would have listened and just took a little $50 from my paycheck and figured out how to, oh, mom, can I do this? But again, my mom didn't know about, stocks and bonds and things like that. So I think a lot of the time, we need to switch up the curriculum in the schools. Sure. I think there's a lot of things like why, and I think I've said this before, why am I learning about credit when I turn 18? Why are kids learning that their credit is shot because this and that happened to them? They don't even know nothing about credit. Why don't we know how to purchase properties? These are all life skills that we need to learn. We should know about taxes, stocks and bonds. We should learn about all this stuff, like skills that we're actually gonna need as adults. So unfortunately in the Black community, I feel like they can only teach us so much because a lot of financial illiteracy in our community. Because unfortunately, my mom didn't teach me these things because she probably really didn't know. My mom was fortunate enough to have an amazing job, so she made a lot of money. And when my dad passed, he left her a lot of money. So she was just not lucky, but that's the cards that she was dealt. So we were always just taken care of. But if my mom would have something would have happened and she would have lost her job or something like that, she probably would have known what to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel like we really have to teach our youth about managing money because a lot of times their parents don't know and they do need the help. I'm not saying that it's right or that it's wrong, but that's why it's like we don't know nothing about generational wealth. You see us having these conversations about 50-50. Why are we talking about 50-50 when we need to talk about how can we pass this on to our kids and we can build something together? Y'all talking about splitting rent. Who cares who pays the bills, bruh? Let's get the bills paid, but let's invest in something. Let's save something. Who cares? All these conversations are so silly. And even us, we have indulged in these conversations before. But like I said, as I get older, I realize there is a bigger picture here that we are all missing. If your purpose is telling your child, hey, pay the light bill because you don't got it, that's different from, hey, put it on this light bill because I'm trying to show you, or, whatever the case may be. So I feel like no matter what you're doing with that money.
Yeah, because then I was going to say, or maybe you could be telling them that, but then the whole time you're creating an account for them. And then when they turn 18 or when they turn 21, you're giving the money back to them. But the purpose was to teach them responsibility.
Exactly.
But I just think, using the money to pay your bills as a parent, that's just
crazy,
wild to me. But do y'all think that a lot of parents do that to try to teach their children like teamwork and family responsibility?
Now, I do think, things are different because like I said, financially right now, we are in a very, very tough economy. And, if you do have a household, if you have a single mom or a single dad and you have a child that's 16, 17 and they are working, even if they're only taking $200 from the kid, that probably would help, if that is somebody who's not making a lot of money. So I think it could be a good lesson in that as well, to learn how to contribute and not just being for self. But like I said, it's a very thin line with that. It's a very fucking thin line. Because I am all for community and helping each other, but I'm also not for a 16-year-old stressing themselves out to pay bills.
That's what I was going to say. I just feel like as a teenager, why am I responsible for the family?
Right. Yeah. Right.
And unfortunately, that kind of goes back into what I was saying earlier. I really, which is kind of off topic, but I feel like sometimes people be having children to help them help with other kids and help them help with family responsibilities and stuff. That shouldn't be the reason why you having a child and bringing a child into this world.
Right.
It's to help you with where you're lacking.
And I think that's what a lot that we're missing in the Black community. I feel like that's why we need family units again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We used to have neighborhoods where neighbors helping, everybody pitching in, like it takes a village. We don't have villages no more.
Yeah.
You know how many times I get online and I see a woman or a man crying because they don't have any help? Like, what happened to community? Like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Growing up in my neighborhood, my mom sometimes would have to leave for work, but our neighbors were right there and they'd be like, hey, if y'all need anything, come over. And they would come over, knock on the door, y'all good? They would order pizza for us, make sure we straight. But it was a neighborhood. Like, everybody knew each other. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was really taking a village. Like, even now, our neighbor, because my mom has passed away. So my neighbors on the other side, they have literally turned their camera to my mom's house just to make sure nobody breaks in the house or you know what I'm saying? So it's like, they're like, okay, we making sure that nobody comes in the house since nobody's there anymore.
Right.
So I feel like that sense of neighborhood, of helping each other out is very important. But that's why a lot of these parents are relying on their kids, because people don't help folks out no more. It's a lot of shame. It's a lot of shame of, well, you didn't do good in life and you're only making minimum wage and it's a lot of shame in that too. So I think it's a lot.
Yeah, but I just feel like if you don't know how to handle your money, you need to learn how to handle your money. You don't need to put the responsibility off on other people. Because I feel like if you're putting the responsibility off on other people to help you every time you get in a bind, where is the lesson being learned as an adult, as a grown up adult, as a parent? If you are always counting on other people to help you, you're never going to learn the importance of saving, investing, all of these things yourself, or just not living above your means. Yeah. I hate to say stuff like this because I feel like it's a little bit harsh, but like back in the day, people was having 13 kids, 14 kids because the cost of living was cheap as hell. Like, no, literally. The cost of living was so fucking cheap. Like, you could literally feed a family of 10. You can go get some steaks for like $20 and it will feed a family of 10 for like 2 weeks. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's just not how things are anymore. So I feel like also, if you can't afford to take care of all of these kids, why are you having all of these kids?
And that's a sensitive topic.